Hey, do you know what day it is? Of course you do. It's Friday. Yeah, I went for a run this morning and I'm feeling so good. I'm feeling pumped. I'm feeling ready to get some work done. So, hey, everyone, I am Joshua. This is my lunchtime streaming series. This particular project we're working on today is called BS.CHESS. It is called that because it's going to be at least I'm planning on it being a fairly rules light chess game. It will be playable over Twitch chat. Um, and let me think what else. Yeah, let me just flip over here so you don't have to take my word for it. Here is the repo. It's at github.com/Joshua Skelly/BS-chess. I did a few commits this morning, mostly just cleaning up code. So basically, to keep people from getting my OAuth token, I have to push. Well, and it's also good practice too for the Twitch view. I push it the credential stuff into a config file that we pull out right here. That's nothing terribly exciting, other than the fact that I can put my config info in here and then have it behind a git ignore, so I don't dox myself or whatever that means. But yeah, just clean it up a little bit. We can take a peek as to where this is right now. Let me close this, and actually, let's do this. Let's do this. So yeah, so this is BS Chess. It's a no holds barred, no rules chess game played through Twitch chat. So the goals for this particular series is one, to follow a more structured stream, like a more structured format for my stream. I want it to follow roughly the software development process. Traditionally, the software development process is kind of described as a 5-step process, with the first step being requirements, the second step being design, the third step being implementation, the fourth step being verification, and the fifth step being maintenance. This, I think, is also called like the software lifecycle. But for the sake of for brevity, I guess, I'm trying to make my formats into three segments. So design, implementation, and QA. Those are the three things I want to talk about. When I talk about like my segments, that's what I want them to be. The other goal for this series is to use and develop the understanding of the MVC pattern. The MVC pattern stands for the Model View Controller pattern, and that basically establishes relationships for various parts of an application's architecture. So the model is typically represented as plain old data. The model is dumb. The model is it just stores data. So you can think of it as a database or any sort of thing. For this current project, the model is just the state of the chessboard at any given point in time. And then the view is also somewhat dumb, where the view just draws what is sent to it. So our controller, which is the logic of everything, will send the view saying, hey, you need to update yourself. Here's the new board state. The view draws that. Also, and many times, the view is also responsible for capturing user input. For obvious reasons, most input in general is kind of tightly coupled with display technologies. For example, a lot of mouse libraries require you to have a monitor because it needs to or at least it requires you to have a display because to get screen chords and stuff, you kind of need a screen. I'm sure some mouse libraries exist like in the abstract. But yeah, so the view also handles taking user input and handing that to the controller. And the controller is the thing where all the logic of the game lives. The controller handles user input. It will make decisions based upon that. It will update the model, and then it tells the view to go update itself. And that's kind of the MVC. The MVC is used mostly like in enterprise application development, but it's also applicable to game development. And I guess the reason I've so far I have two different views. I have one view which is a pure console view, and then I have a TDL view which is basically a console view, but it's a little bit fancier. And all this view talk is leading me to my third series goal, which is to allow for user pull requests for the view component. So people could write their own view component. You could write a 3D view component that would allow you to see the board in 3D and submit moves, or 2D, or however you want to visualize this data. Totally up to you. Hey Steven, hey Smith. So the goals for today. So one, I want to actually, so we're going to transition. So this is our first segment. This is the design phase of the stream. We'll approximately spend maybe 10, 15 minutes on the design phase, trying to figure out what we're going to do, how we're going to do it, and considerations for those things, right? So today, I want to actually display user moves. I think this is important because right now, if I were to run it, and let me go and just run it, and we can play it while it does its thing. Python f.py. So right now, let me position this over here, I guess. You can type in chess moves to chat, and it will execute. Actually, let me see. Let me try. I think that's all right. Hopefully, can you guys see the board okay, or should I try to make that bigger somehow? But yeah, you can type in chess moves like A2, A3, and that will move the white queen side pawn up one, and you folks can play with that while I talk. So display user moves. This will probably look something like, I guess at its roughest, it could just be like A2, A3, A2, A3, Joshua Skelly, right? And I'm thinking for this view too, I'm probably just going to put it underneath the chessboard, which means it's going to be a max width of 10. So for the TDL view implementation, and also right now, our current implementation, for those of you who are watching, you can move any piece anywhere. There are no restrictions on the chess pieces right now. That's something that we have to do in the future as well, is implement different, basically add the rule sets for the variants of chess that we want to be playing. Right now, this is the debug chess variant, which means you can move the pieces anywhere. But for the TDL view implementation, we want to list the moves from newest to oldest, and that is top to bottom. We want to list both valid and invalid moves and differentiate between the two. Likely this will just be a different color, but I think for Twitch playable stuff, I think it makes the most sense to show, because right now I'm making a difference between a valid move and a legal move, where a valid move is potentially a move that could be performed, and a legal move is the one that follows the rules. So what could happen is, if two people try to move the same piece, the person who is fastest will win, and then the second person, we should still show their move, but show that it failed. So list both valid and invalid moves. This will we need to do something. So we need to change do we need to update? So the question is, do we need to update our model right now? Right, because our model right now is just a string that represents the chessboard. That's all it is. And should we update this to be something different? I don't know. Maybe. So maybe for our updates, maybe it needs to be something like the moves and the board state. Maybe. Or maybe emit extra events. That might be a thing. Because right now for our display, we just we could just for the time being create another property on our model, which is a move history, and we could just stuff all those into that. Yeah, let's just do that. So add a move history to model. It will be a sequence of moves. And then the move needs to look something like class move type object. And it needs to have some properties, right? It needs to have player. So like player name. Let me just do it a little bit more. Player name. Type say string. This is just gonna be pseudocode here. Maybe a color, player color. Maybe this is Twitch. Allows for Twitch name colors. The actual move itself, so that'd be a string move. And maybe a Boolean valid. Maybe that's what the data that we're putting into our move history. History item. And then the view can just grab whichever ones are relevant to it. That might be okay. Is that going to be enough work for today? I think so. I think that will probably be an okay amount of work, because we need to. So maybe more concretely. Add a new property to our model. TDL view will make use of new data. TDL view will have a move history window. We need to grab the Twitch user name color from chat. Yeah, so Greeny996 is what language is this being developed in? Yeah, so this is being developed in Python. And I'm using for this part, this is in TDL, and then the Twitch chat integration is a API I wrote myself with the help of Felix that allows us to do stuff like H3 G5, and that should move the old knight there. Yeah, so it's a Python thing. I like Python. I think I work relatively fast in it. And I think it's fairly easy to grok and translate what I'm doing to other languages. Cool. So today we're going to make a new property for our model that follows this. In Python, we don't really need since this is just plain old data. This can just be a 4 tuple. That's probably sufficient. The TDL view will make use of the new data. The TDL view will have a move history window, and we need to grab the Twitch username from chat. So those all should be doable things, because roughly we leave ourselves 30-35 minutes to do the implementation phase. So yeah, so this is our next segment in the episode where we're moving on to the implementation phase. So this is our design. This is what we're going to be doing today. And then let's go ahead and start working towards that. And then at the end, we will do some QA verification to make sure that we did meet these goals and talk about edge cases and things we need to consider. But right now, let's get to work. I guess I can just leave this up here. Let's do this. Let's go to here and let's put this window up over here. And kind of put it on top of my head. Boop, boop, boop. Yeah, there we go. All right. So add a new property to our model. Okay. So in our model here, we're just going to add another property. It's just a very basic thing. It just has a constructor and no actual methods to it. So self.move history is a list that we will be adding to. Okay, and then our controller. Actually, maybe we could just add it here as well. Let's just add a, since this the model is plain old data, so this is our class move history item of type object. Def init. We have some properties, player name, player, color, move, and valid. So self.play player name equals player name. Self.player color equals player color. Self.move equals move, and self.valid equals valid. And then we need to add these to our parameters. So I think what we can do is we need a move. That's not optional. We need whether it's a valid move or not. Let's say the player name. Try and keep this generalized because the model shouldn't know about Twitch at all. So the player name is just equal to player for default, and the player underscore color should equal 255, which I think is fine. Trying to think, like, should the model even have a concept of color? How about just player color equals none? This can be it can be anything we really want. I think Twitch actually stores them as strings. We might have to translate that here in a little bit, but that should be okay. This is what a move history item looks like. The controller knows about these things. Our event, we have a player input event. Player input move. We need a self dot player name equals player, and a self dot player underscore color equals none. So now we can emit these events. The controller will receive these events, queue them up, and down here we will handle player input. Let me see. Okay, so this is what we do. So this validate move should return if it's a valid move at all. So if we get past this, the question is it legal, right? So is this move, it's hard to say. So else pass. So here we're going to perform the move, and we need to record the move also, right? So okay, so right here we can say history equals does it know about the model? So the controller actually doesn't know about the model per se. Self.model. I guess it's okay if we have a. I guess it's already somewhat tightly coupled. This importing this import model definitely makes it way more coupled than it was. If folks have a better suggestion on how to do this, please let me know. But for the time being, we're say equals model dot move item history, and we need a move, and the valid needs to be true. And then here we need to say history.valid equals false. Comma, and this needs to be event dot player name and event dot player color, because we're pulling this out of the event that we're emitting. And then so here, all we're doing is saying this was not a valid move. Then here we can say self dot record move history. And then similar to how we have this perform move, we're going to have a def record move move. This is just just call it history. It's a history object. And this is just self.model dot move history dot append history. Okay. I think that should be okay. Now in our Twitch chat input, when we generate our so this is the Twitch player input event, which now has these new properties. So now we can say also evt.player name is equal to event.nickname, I think. Chat event, nickname channel, command message. I think we also have, do we have tags as well? Tags. Yeah, event.tags. We should have tags in the event as well. I think I can pull player color out of that. So let's try that. So, and then tags equals event.tags. Okay, let's try this out. There we go. And put a breakpoint here and debug. Okay, so A2, A3. Okay, so this event, let's take a look at this event and just see what it looks like. Ooh, and we emit the color in hex, which is all right. Events. So Yeah, that's the message. That's my nick. The tags are just a bundle of stuff. Color is in hex, so we can figure out how to parse that. I wonder if it always comes in hex. Could somebody else please enter a move? That would be lovely. If one of my kind viewers, yay! Thank you, Smith. Okay, cool. So let's take a peek at the events. Yeah, so the colors are coming across as hexadecimal, so we can deal with that, right? Cool. There we go. So let's do that. And actually, I guess we want to pass along the color as an RGB triple. I think that's easier to deal with, because that's what TDL uses, and a lot of things use by default. So let's just convert that. I think we can do something like let's clear this Python. If we do hex of or int of ff. Int of x of f. I'm messing this up. Python hex string to int. What's the easiest way to do this? Oh, if I do int of ff in base 10 or base 16, I think. Yeah, perfect. Yeah, so we so for this param, all we need to do is just pass in the whatever base this is in. So what we can do is we can say pick color, right? Let's check this to make sure I'm not totally crazy. Lunch break roguelike. That project is over. I'm no longer streaming that. I did do a free play stream right before this one, but yeah, I wanted to go ahead and move on to a new project before that one got old. Right? I don't want to like run it into the ground, if that makes any sense. Tags. Yeah, that's a dictionary. So tags at color. Yeah, I plan on running Lunch Break Roguelike free play at least every Friday. Hex underscore color equals that. So Smith says, does the Python regex automatically assume that tag onto the expression? I don't think so. What's the best way to do this? R equals hex color from 0 to 1, 0 to 2. I think it's hashtag, oh wait, color equals hash ff 0000 color dot strip this. Cool. So we want to do that and slice it from 0 to 2. Perfect. Okay, so color dot strip, and I think that should be cool. That should be 0 to 2. And then G is from 2 to 4. And this is 4 to 6. That's blue. And then EVT dot player color equals RGB. There we go. That should be sufficient there, because that will then publish our event with the correct color. Oh, no, it won't, because we need to do this. We need to say it's int of that, comma, base 16. There we go. Love multi-line editing when it's nice. Okay, so that should translate that into the correct range that we expect, and I think that should work. Let's just again let's debug this real quick to make sure that I'm not in crazy town. Hey, new obj, how the heck are you? And also let me do that. Beautiful. Yeah, that's working great. Okay, so now we just need to update our view to actually have room for that. I think I'm just going to make, pardon me, I'm just going to list all the moves below, which I think makes sense. Unless you think it makes more sense to have them to the right or the left. But I think for me, as far as demoing this, it might be nice just to have it like vertical and then just have it work like that. Yeah, so I'll just let this run if you folks want to goof while I do some work. That's totally fine. So let's go to our TDL view. And we need to update this to handle the new information, right? So I think right now in our TDL view in start is where we do, pardon me, we do our knitting. Wait, no, run. Pardon me. So this is where we actually init TDL, and it's 10 by 10. And I think I want to add either 10 or 11. I don't know if I need that gap in between. Maybe, yeah, so maybe 21. And then here, oh, we need the history, right? Because this doesn't know about the history. So we need to somehow need to get the history over here, right? So if we look at output with buffer lock, self.buffer equals data. And what we really need to do is we need to structure this a little bit more, because right now I think we're just sending across a string. Yeah, so look at our controller, and we're doing display model data. And then how about self.model.move history for the time being? And this is comma move history. And then yeah, we can just replace this, I suppose. So self.move history equals, there might be a more elegant way to do this, but right now this is where we're at. Self._move history equals move history. It's also look at our console view, and for the time being, let's not worry about this, but let's just make sure it doesn't break. So move history. Nice, PyCorp. Very nice. Yeah. Cool. So in our TDL view, so we've made the thing taller, and now we just need to basically grab a new window. So this is draw is this? Y-axis legend. Draw X-axis legend. This is draw board. Then also now we can say draw move history. So win equals TDL dot window of console, and it needs to be 012 0 yeah, this is 0 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11, and it's going to be 10 by 10. Okay. I think that's correct. And then for history in self underscore move history, actually, wow, we don't actually lock on this, which is kind of bad. Maybe we just lock for this whole darn move. So for history in move history, and I want to, the way we're doing it, I want to slice off the last 10, so -10 to the end, I think is what I want, right? A equals list of range of 10, and A say -2 is 8 9. Yep, that's what I want. So I want the last 10 things in history, so that's what I'm going to do there. I don't need that colon though, that confuses things. Move equals history.move. Name equals history.player name. FG equals history.player color. And then I want to I, history, and enumerate of that. And then I want to say win.draw stir at 0 and I. And I want to draw move. And the foreground is equal colors dot white, I guess. And then I would do win.draw stir at 0, comma, that should be 0 0 4, and this should be name, and we want to slice off, I guess, the first 6, and FG equals FG. I think that's correct. Let's give it a whirl, see what we got. As PyCorp is slowly clearing the chessboard. Okay, go. Uh-oh, listed X out of range. Oh, -10 to the end. I do need that colon. So I'm doing a slice. The bug. Okay. MB A2, A3. Oh, A2, A3. This is not lunch break roguelike. That is not quite correct. What just happened here? Okay. So name is Joshua Skelly. My color is correct, but the position is weird. Win.drawStar 04. Oh. Yeah, should be 4-0 because I got my chords flipped. Sorry, folks. And then the Y should be the I coordinates. Go. A2, A3. See what that looks like. What's with the move? Oh, the move is not translated. The move is actually interesting. Okay, so we need to translate this back actually. Yeah. That shouldn't be so bad. Because I think in the controller I actually do the transform, right? Hmm. Da, 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 da. So let me split this. PyCorp says, do the pieces move like chess pieces yet? Nope. So if you look at the code, we have chess and variants, and these variants are what determine what kind of chess we're playing. And right now we're playing the debug variant, because how we validate a move is we, for a given board state, we generate all possible moves. And then what we look for is the move we're wishing to make, is it contained in that set? And right now, any piece can move anywhere, so it returns true as long as it's contained within the board. But then again, I plan on adding like at least the standard variant for chess, and maybe Crazy House. That could be fun. We'll see. But that's the mechanism behind how that works. Okay, so the TDL view, we need to translate this back into. Okay, so x comma y equals move. Yeah. So I need to do the opposite. So call equals. So rho should equal x divided by 8. Is that right? And call should be x modulo 8. But the rows need to be flipped. So this needs to be 7 minus. I think. +1? Wait. Yeah, let me debug this. I think. 3. So we expand that. That's 4840. So the row is equal to 0. The row should be 2. So x divided by 8 is 6. So x is 48. Yeah, that's 6 plus 1. Yeah, so I think it needs to be like this. Row is equal to 2. Okay. And call is equal to 0, which is correct. Okay, that should be fine. And then what we need to do is we just need to map those. So row equals the ord of no, row is numeric, that's fine. Call is equal to the ord of a plus call and take the character. That? Yeah, that seems all right. And then just do that for the y as well. So x equals a format call comma row, and then this is just the y equivalent, and y equals the same jazz right here. And then move equals format xy. Go. Yeah, I think that's okay. Yeah, so now we should be able to see players' moves now, and it should respect your Twitch chat color, which is also a cool thing. Does it preserve order correctly? B2, B3. So I guess I would want to reverse those. Is the thing there? So let's in reversed of that. Okay, and then I think we need to focus, and then after that we need to figure out the valid versus invalid moves, right? Because I could say A3, A4, and that shows up, but it's not valid. And then yes, and then Smith's their move appears on top of mine, and then A2, A3, cool. Yeah, that seems to work out okay. Yeah, so I'll just let this live here while I do some more work trying to figure out how to do the whole valid thing. I think I can just lower the colors. Goes history player color. If move.valid, if not move valid, what pass do something. We basically want to map. So if we look at the TDL view, we have colors. This colors object, and our light gray is we can just do 50%. So let's do that. If move not, oh, so okay. Move underscore color equals colors.white, and then we say here we can just say move color. But if it's not valid, we need to say move color equals colors.gray. And FG equals, I think map is what I want, right? Map. Color equals 2, 4, 6. Map of lambda x over 2 color. And then if we want to say the tuple of that, nice. That is correct. Yeah, so this can be the tuple of the map of, this is lambda x, this is int of x over 2, and this is FG. Okay, so that should dim our names when we do the wrong, it's an invalid move, so let's test that. So A4, A5. Oh no. History.valid is what we want. I'm silly. Okay. But then A2, A3. Nice. 3A5. 2A3. Nice. I think that works out okay. Hopefully it makes sense. If folks have designy input on that, we could talk about that, but maybe just making it like that is okay for the time being. Yeah, that seems to work reasonably well. Okay, so let's go ahead and move on to the final segment of today's episode, which is the QA phase. So we want to kind of look at what we've done today and figure out like the edge cases and things we're worried about. So here, I guess I need to test what happens if we okay, so I'm just quickly testing what happens when we start scrolling off of the bottom there, but it looks like it handles things just fine. Yep. Cool. Okay, so let's bring up the console and then let's take a look at, let's quit this. And I'm just gonna leave this up for folks if they want to goof with it. It should be in an okay state. So git status. So we made lots of changes. Git diff. So for our controller, the controller is now more tightly coupled with the model. Because now we add these move history. So we could add a method to the model that allows us to add so I don't know, like folks who have done MVC before, should the model actually have methods or no? Because is like accessors and mutators fine or not at all? And this is IR. I'm running this top pane here is running bash on MSys2, and I'm running IRC in there. That is IRSSI. Okay. Again, so this, not super stoked about how much the controller now knows about. It might be nice to have a method on the model to do that. I don't know. And also too, we're sending over the entire history to the view every time on an update. I guess that's okay because we're local right now. I would like to do eventually a client server setup in the future. So the move history item, that's okay. Yeah, the move history is for this TDL view because we care about that. We want to draw it. Okay, Smith is confirming whenever they've done MVC in the past, the models had accessors and mutator methods. Okay, cool. Yeah, and maybe that doesn't. So maybe having accessors and mutators doesn't disqualify it from being plain old data. Kind of. I guess it just depends how much logic is encapsulated in that. Cool. Thanks. Thank you. I appreciate Smith and Nuobs for speaking up. Yeah. That makes sense. Yep. This is the draw code, which is fine. I mean, it's not super tight, but it works well enough. So what happens if I change my color? I can change that, right? To green. And then I say A3 or B3 C5. Oh, cool. Yeah, it picks it up just fine. I was pretty confident that would work, but again, I maybe changing it would be a nice thing to do. Okay. I think this looks okay. Let's go back and look at our goals we set for ourselves. So for today, we wanted to display the user moves. And it looks like something like that, and that's what we came up with. I omitted the space here simply because of our like the width considerations here. I wanted to give as much room to the name as I could. So yeah, the TDL. So yep, list moves from newest to oldest. These are the newest. Those are the oldest. List both valid and invalid moves and differentiate between the two. Right now, we are just using basically we are just reducing the RGB values by half for the invalid moves. I think this is important to let folks know that their moves did register. It's just, yeah, I think it's okay for now. If folks have a better suggestion, please let me know. I do have a community Discord server. And on the server, there's a channel for each of the projects I'm working on. So BS.CHESS has its own channel, so feel free to pipe up there with anything you feel is interesting, like chess talk, MVC talk, design UX stuff. Please jump in and give me help. The reason my last project was so successful is because of really excellent community interaction. List valid and invalid moves. And then do we update our model? Yes, we did update the model. The model now contains the history. Right now we're not emitting any extra events. I just enhanced our current update event to just broadcast both the board state and the move history, and maybe that's okay. Yeah, yeah, I think we accomplished what we set out to do, and we've roughly done it in the time that I allotted, which is cool. Yeah, so I think we're at an okay place. Let me go ahead and commit these changes. Git commit-m. This is actually just this is adding move history. Git push. Cool. Nice. So all right, let me think. This yeah, so this is about the end of the stream. I'm Joshua. You can follow me here on Twitch at Joshua Skelly. You can follow me on Twitter at Joshua Skelly to see what craziness I'm up to. I mentioned the Discord just a bit ago. Feel free to join that. Engage or as much or as little as you like. The more the better, but whatever. Also, I am a Twitch affiliate, so if you want to subscribe to me, that would be awesome. I consider that to be basically just like a tip jar. So if you find what I do to be entertaining or informative or educational or whatever, or you just want to see more of the weird stuff that I do, please consider subscribing. All this month, Twitch is running a promotional called September. So if you've not subscribed to me before, this month is half off, but I still get the full benefit. So if you've been waiting to pull the trigger, now is the time to do it. I want to thank my subscribers in no particular order. They are Fifth Elephant, Nixrod, Mrs. Beefy 1111, New Obj, Neil Slichter, No Field, SG Bozzy, A Literal Train, Smith, Dr. Kegel, Glass Casket TV, and Codrake. You fine folks support me in my weird endeavors, and I certainly appreciate it. Folks, also, when you subscribe, you get access to the Pixel Stake. You can slap that all over Twitch. You also get access to the Twitch chat bot. You can actually not only get, well, everybody has access to it, but subscribers can actually add commands, which is a thing folks can choose to do. And also, the last Friday every month, I do something special for my subscribers. I'm planning on making art assets for them. Everybody is welcome to watch, but the subscribers get the art assets. I will be doing it next Friday, so a week from today. Hopefully I will have a better idea of what I'll be doing, because I would like to have some deliverables for you so you folks can make cool stuff. All right, I think that's enough yammering. You folks have a good weekend. I will be back Sunday for my weekly Delver stream at noon, and I will be back with more BS Chess on Monday. All right, folks, take care. Have a good weekend.